So my first off the bat question is, why Spain?
The reason why I chose Spain, well, wanted to go somewhere warm, and also I'd been going to see a friend of mine who'd lived there for quite a long time, and I kind of fell in love with it. I always thought Spain would be like beaches and people drinking and things like that. And then when I really discovered Spain, there's so much more to it. So there's lots of history, the food is fantastic, and just the culture is so good and so nice. And it felt completely different from the UK.
Mm,
And that's why I chose it really, going back.
mm. And when was it? Because I'm thinking it was before COVID. Was it before COVID?
It was just before. So we moved over in, well, we chose October 2018. So Robin and I had only just got married and then we chose to move to Spain. But anyway, we chose it in 2018 and then actually moved in April 2019. So we had a few months before COVID hit. And so we were able to go out and about and discover Spain. Before then, we were then locked in for a few months, and that's it, really.
Mm,
Yeah. So nearly, we've been here over 4 years now.
wow. And you've moved once or twice in terms of literally from house to house.
We moved about 7 times
Oh my goodness.
before, because when we first got there, we didn't know where we wanted to live, so we used Airbnb. It was a bit of a last minute move to Spain anyway, because my daughter got into school there, and we had 2 weeks to move over, so it was quite short notice. So we just used Airbnbs for the first kind of 6 months, and it meant we had to move from one house to the other every 6 weeks because of being places being available, and we chose lots of different locations in the area to see where we liked. But then
Mm,
we bought a house in 2019, so at the end of November, and then we have moved again since
mm,
properly. So
mm.
yeah, a lot of movement within the area. So we know every part of the area now. And if somebody says, "Have you been there?" We've probably lived there, so, or near there. So we do it.
But that must have been really good in terms of finding where you wanted to purchase a property. Because if you've moved around a lot, you're going to get to know it.
Yeah, and in fact, I say to people, never just go on one of these viewing tours where you just go and look at houses and buy the first house within 5 days, because you don't really know the area until you've lived there.
Mm,
And so you actually need to spend at least 3 to 4 weeks in an area just to see if it's going to suit you. So
mm,
we found it really good, really, because it meant that while we were living in different places, we could have a look at other places and then choose the area that we really wanted. I have to say that the one that we chose originally, we really liked. So we lived there for 3 years, but the one that we bought, and it was fantastic at the time. But then we got bored of where it was, and there wasn't as much going on as we wanted. So that's why we moved again.
mm,
But it suited us for a good 3 years, so it
mm.
was ideal.
And when you lived in your first home, the 3 year home, was that chosen in terms of location of your daughter's school?
It was, yeah, because we had we one of the most important things for us was to choose her school, because she was 14, nearly 15 when we moved, and so education at that age is key. And she was studying the British system
Mm,
of exams, and we didn't want to pick her up and move her into a Spanish school when she didn't actually speak Spanish. We'd had a few lessons before, and it would have been unfair for her. So we had a look at all the schools in the area and chose the one. And we wanted to be within driving distance of that school, well, a short driving distance of that school.
mm,
So that really dictated where we lived.
yeah.
And we also wanted to be a little bit in the country so that we'd got views all around us.
Mm.
That was probably the biggest change, because we decided actually it was too countrified in the end.
Yeah, but you have to discover these things, don't you?
Yeah.
Like when we moved into Massachusetts, we lived somewhere that we thought was great because it was outside the center of town and that kind of thing. And then we were like, it's too outside the center of town, you know? So,
It makes a
yeah.
huge difference to your lifestyle, actually, doesn't it? So.
Yeah.